Hello, my dear students. Today's our topic is the Civil War. Your page number 40. The Civil War. So, in the last portion, we discussed what changed after October. We discussed the changes made by the Bolsheviks. We discussed in the last class. And here, our new topic, the Civil War. What is the meaning of Civil War? Civil War means war between citizens of the country. War between citizens of the country. So here, last day we discussed a lot of changes brought by the Bolsheviks. And here, when the Bolsheviks ordered the land redistribution, the Russian army, they began to break up. What happened here? Soldiers, mostly the peasants, they want to go their home for the redistribution. And what they do? They deserted. That means they left to their home. Non-Bolshevik socialists, liberals, and supporters of autocracy condemned the Bolshevik uprising. So here two groups, one side the Bolsheviks, other side non-Bolshevik socialists, liberals and some supporters of autocracy, and they criticized the Bolshevik uprising. Their leaders moved to the South Russia and organized an army to fight the Bolshevik. Bolshevik known as the Reds. So what happened here? Non-Bolsheviks moved to the South Russia and arranged army, and they started fight, or they want to fight the Bolsheviks. During 1918 and 1919, the Greens, that means the socialist revolutionaries, and Whites, who were Whites, pro-Tsarist supporters of the Tsars, they controlled most of the Russian Empire. So what happened? During 1918 and 1919, the Greens and Whites, they controlled most of the Russian Empire. Who were Greens here? Socialist revolutionaries. Who were Whites? Pro-Tsarist. Pro-Tsarist means the supporters of the Tsar. And they were backed by French, American, British and Japanese troops. That means they were supported by whom? French, American, British and Japanese troops. Why they supported? Because these countries, they were worried at the growth of socialism in Russia. So, the above countries, which are the countries? French, American, British and Japanese troops helped them. Why? Because they were worried about the development of socialism in Russia. That is why they supported. As these troops and the Bolsheviks fought a civil war, looting, banditry and famine became common in Russia. So, what happened now? These troops and the Bolsheviks, one side the pro-Tsarist and their supporters, other side Bolsheviks, they fought each other. What happened? Looting, banditry and famine became common in Russia. What do you mean by looting? Looting means the act of stealing. That means without the permission of others, taking others' goods. Then banditry. What is banditry? It is an organized crime. For example, murder, robbery, etc. So what happened now? When the civil war was broke out, looting, banditry and famine became common. Famine, you know that a shortage of food grains and so many difficulties people faced. So this was common in Russia. Then supporters of private property among Whites. Who were Whites? Pro-Tsarist. They took harsh steps with the peasants who had seized land. You know that the Bolshevik declared to seize land from the nobles. So what happened now? The supporters of private property, these especially Whites, they took harsh steps with the peasants who had seized land. And such a type of actions led to the loss of popular support for the non-Bolsheviks. And what happened? These actions lost the popular support for the non-Bolsheviks. Who were non-Bolsheviks? Non-Bolshevik socialist, liberals and supporters of autocracy, and these French, American, British and Japanese troops together fought against the Bolsheviks here. By January 1920, the Bolsheviks controlled most of the former Russian Empire. They succeeded due to cooperation with the non-Russian nationalities and Muslim jihadists. How these Bolsheviks they succeeded? The thing is that they got the cooperation with the non-Russian nationalities and also the Muslim jihadists. Earlier we discussed about the Muslim jihadists who wished to do some reforms, some changes in the Muslim community. You know that jihadists. So here what happened? The Bolsheviks they were succeeded because of the cooperation from the side of non-Russian nationalities and the Muslim jihadists. Cooperation did not work where Russian colonists themselves turned Bolshevik. But what happened? This cooperation did not work where Russian colonists themselves turned Bolshevik. So here in Khiva, a part of an Uzbekistan region, Khiva, and in Khiva, in Central Asia, Bolshevik colonists brutally massacred local nationalists in the name of defending socialism. So what happened? No, the Bolshevik they lost the support when these Bolsheviks they turned the Russian colonists themselves turned against the Bolsheviks. It's an example here in Khiva in Central Asia. What happened? The Bolshevik colonists they brutally killed, massacred local nationalists in the name of defending socialism. So this action of the Bolsheviks lost the support of, and in this situation many people they were confused about what the Bolshevik government represented, or for what the Bolshevik government stood for. This confused the people. In which action this Bolshevik Bolshevik colonists brutally massacred local nationalists in the name of defending or protecting socialism. So in this situation, people they were confused about what the Bolshevik government represented. And partly to remedy this, and for a solution, remedy means here a solution, most non-Russian nationalities were given political autonomy in the Soviet Union. That means for a remedy for this, most of the non-Russian nationalities they were given political autonomy in the Soviet Union. Political autonomy means a right to self-government. So the right to govern themselves, that is political autonomy. So what happened here? These non-Russian nationalities were given self-rule power in the Soviet Union. In the state the Bolsheviks created from the Russian Empire in December 1922. And the Soviet Union, USSR, the state the Bolsheviks created from the Russian Empire in December 1922, they create the Soviet Union. But since this was combined with the unpopular policies that the Bolsheviks forced the local government to follow, like the harsh discouragement of nomadism, attempts to win over different nationalities were only partly successful. So what happened here? So here they formed a Soviet Union or USSR, but at the same time it was combined with some unpopular policies, means the policies took by the Bolsheviks were not good for the people. Which are the policies, or what were the policies there? The Bolsheviks forced the local government to follow, like the harsh discouragement of nomadism. What is discouragement of nomadism means? The Bolsheviks were not supported nomadism. This word nomadism is not new for you. It is already, I think, you learned in the 6th standard history textbook, and about the pastoralists in 8th standard also, I think already you studied this one. So here nomadism means a lifestyle of those who do not live in one particular place. They move from area to area to earn their living. So that means they moved from one place to another to earn their living. They were known as nomads. So the Bolsheviks they discouraged nomadism. For what? Attempt to win over different nationalities. But what happened? That was partly successful. So this attempt to win over different nationalities, that attempt of the Bolsheviks were only partly successful. So here the civil war, that part we are going to conclude. So civil war means the war between the citizens of the country, one side the Bolsheviks, other side the whites and the greens. That means red, whites and greens. Reds means Bolsheviks, greens means socialist revolutionaries. Then whites means the pro-Tsarists, means the supporters of the Tsar. And the war between the citizens of the country known as the civil war. And here we discussed the non-Russian nationalities. They were given political autonomy in the Soviet Union, and the Bolsheviks created from the Russian Empire in December 1922, but it was combined with some unpopular policies. There we concluded. So dear students, underline the important points and listen this 2 or 3 times. Thank you. Have a nice day.